All right, everybody.
Hey, 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 everybody.
Y'all have asked. You all have.
Hey,
You
everybody.
just want to run. That's all you want to do. You just
Oh,
want to
I hope
run.
my wig. Wait, is it straight?
Oh
Is
my
it?
God! Here we go. Already.
Oh,
Already. Please.
let's be sure it's. Maybe I should do this off camera.
Yeah, because that was a little
I'm
off
so
center.
sorry, guys.
Okay. All right.
Is it right? Let me,
I think you're okay. Yeah, I think you're okay. I think.
yeah, it ain't. I ain't got no plaques up under here.
Y'all, I don't know what's. I think you're okay. I think your
Okay,
wig is
I'm sorry.
on.
I'm sorry.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are back. Couch Conversations. We're back tonight, and we are glad about it. I need somebody to just say we are glad about it. I mean, we are happy to be in the house. And of course, Fanika starts off with her antics very early on. So you all have already seen the wig adjustment in the camera.
I'm sorry,
Ain't nothing
guys.
new. Ain't nothing changed. So ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. This is just a different version of Couch Conversations than what you all are used to. Now,
But we are on my lovely
we're on the
couch.
We are on the couch. We are on the couch. We got a ton of pillows. I mean, pillows are everywhere. It would not be Fanika if we did not have a ton of pillows in the house.
Jesus.
So we got 197,000 pillows in here. I mean, pillows are everywhere. This is a literal couch conversation. Now,
Hi, I'm new, Crystal.
yeah, hello everybody that's new as you come in. As you come in, there's a couple things I want to just kind of make you aware of from a feature perspective. A couple things. Number one, if you have not already, we want you to like and subscribe. Say it with me. Like and subscribe.
And that is free, honey. You ain't even got to
You gotta
pay to
do
do
nothing.
that.
You gotta do nothing. Just like it, subscribe it, and we will take every like and every subscription that you have. We are, matter of fact, about 200 people away from a 10,000 subscriptions.
Yes,
So
you guys
we're
have
very
been
excited about that.
amazing.
Thank y'all. Round of applause to y'all. Round of applause to y'all. All right. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the page so you will stay updated with everything we're doing and everything we got going on. So that's important. Number two, we have initiated a new piece on our chat. And if at any point in the midst of tonight's chat you want to not just like and not just comment,
Yeah, cut
but
that
you,
fan off of my eye.
we got to cut it off.
Yeah,
Okay,
I might lose my lashes.
so,
Get the crying
so,
and
so,
batting.
so at any point, if you want to support what it is that we're doing, there's a little feature on the bottom of the chat where you can hit that $ and enter your comment just to support what it is that we're doing. And tonight we've got some important stuff to share with you that we are on the verge of doing, and it all has to do with our managing transitions conversation. I'll cut the fan off. Keep
Okay,
talking.
he's cutting the fan off so I won't lose my eyes. When you get you get in your 40s and them eyes just drought, Jesus.
You've been 40 all of 3 minutes. I mean, been 40 all
More
of
than
3
3
seconds.
months, glory to God.
So tonight, again, we are glad to have all of you all in the room. Tonight, we're going to talk about managing transitions. All right?
Whew.
Managing transitions. And in this month, as a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, in a couple days, we would have been married for 12 years.
Yes. I didn't even.
It's been yeah. I know you forgot because you never remember our anniversary.
Babe, you ain't gotta do that on the interwebs.
Never remember. I'm the memory guy, so
I've had a lot of children.
if I didn't have kids, she would know when my birthday was. All right, so she would not have
I've
a
had
clue.
a lot of kids.
Don't blame it on my children. Your mind was bad when I met you.
Now that might be true.
Don't blame it on my kids tonight.
That might be true. But I am not good with dates. I'm so not good with dates until I celebrated one child's birthday 2 years the wrong day.
Lele just found out she was born on January 30th.
I
Because her
was
mama
celebrating-
convinced everybody that her birthday was January 31st. I had that baby. I pushed her out. I know what
Lord,
day
they
I
cut
had.
me, Lord. I had never been cut, Jesus. I said, I can't remember, baby, did I get cut on the 35th or 31st?
So for 3 years, 2 or 3 years,
Two.
Okay, Lele celebrated her birthday on the complete wrong day. The complete wrong day. So, but in the midst of that, in 12 years of marriage, we have had a ton of transitions.
Yes.
And so tonight we're going to talk just a little bit about our wins and our losses and transitions, what we did right, what we did wrong, what I screwed up, all that. We're going to talk about all of that in a short window of time. And we're going to talk about our,
I'm sorry, this wig is just doing a lot. Is it flying away?
It's intact. It's good. No, it's good. It ain't moving. It ain't moving.
Okay, because I can't curl it, so if it's fuzzy, it's going to be what it's going to be.
And then we are also going to talk about what it means for us. Thank you, Dora.
Oh, thank you, Dora.
We're going to talk about our most recent transition that we're on the verge of. All right, so this is going to be...
See, somebody else did it. When I
is
registered him for school, I had to get a new birth certificate. It was 2 days off.
See, y'all got to remember your children's birthdays.
No, it's a lot for women.
Y'all have to remember these children's birthday. All right, so here's how we'll start. When Fanika and I got engaged, I think we've shared a little bit of this before. I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, like a couple weeks after I proposed to her. All right.
Maybe like 2-3 weeks?
3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
Now, what made that interesting is Fanika and I had never dated. We'll do this in a separate one. We had never dated. We literally went from being best friends to, hey, I want you to be my wife. All right?
Yeah.
So we made a transition from friendship into we're going to be married. All right. So that's a whole nother video. But now, so I started grad school a couple weeks after I proposed. She was still in Alabama. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give a short version of this. She moved to Selma for about a week, maybe 2.
Yeah.
She ended up moving back to Huntsville. And she had a ton of, like she was going to go home, stay with her grandparents for a little bit. And that didn't work the way she thought it would.
Good God, no.
She ended up coming back to Huntsville. It was a whole lot of stuff surrounding all that, right? So she is in a lot of transitions herself with Ashrel, because Ashrel is 2 years old at this time. But they've gone.
No, when we first got engaged, she was 1.
You're right. She was 1. She had not turned 2 yet. So she's going through her own like transitions there. I'm going through my transitions, learning a new city, starting a new program, a pretty rigorous program at Oral Roberts with my master's. And so we were on separate areas of the country. Loving each other, but on 2 different pages.
Yes.
Right? We were on 2 completely different pages.
And it was tough for me. So Ashrel was really, really sick. And so she was doing these hospital stints.
Yep.
And at that time, I was teaching preschool at the time. And she was in and out so much until I had to drop down my hours. And that had never happened. You know, I always worked 3 jobs. When he lived there, he was such a huge help with her. And so I ended up, guys, on public assistance. I ended up on food stamps. I ended up living in a low housing income. And I had never lived like that before.
Thank you, Britton.
Thank you. And so trying to adjust to, engaged, single mom, my pride, I was so embarrassed. I never thought I would find myself on public assistance. But it's being Mother's Day. I just want to just put this in there.
Is good,
is that mothers, listen, you do what you have to do for your babies.
Wow.
It was very tough. Now, mind you, I got a Cadillac for a high school graduation gift. My family was so embarrassed about me having this baby until I was just cut off from my family. And I thought it was like, okay, once, the baby come, everybody's feelings is going to be kind of over it and, whatever. And now they see that she's sick. And so, they're going to help. And that was not the case. And so I ended up in a place that I never, ever thought I would be in. On top of trying to go from friends to engage. And he proposed to me in my nice 2-story townhome until now I am living with people smoking weed on the side of me. And I'm saying, now this is supposed to be the most happiest time of my life. And here I am now living worse than I have ever lived in my whole life. And I'm saying, ain't no way in the world I can put the stamp of marriage on top of this. And so maybe I need to come back and talk about just the fear of that and how I try to even run and back away from.
You know what? I think that's a whole mentorship module. You know, I just want to throw that little nugget in there. I'm going to do it every live with you guys.
You just won't let me be
I
great.
think that's a whole mentorship module all by itself. But to your point, I don't want on this Mother's Day weekend especially any mother to feel bad about the plight they've had to create in order to be the type of mother you need to be at your best. I think that is
absolutely
for sure a part of maybe what we'll call the sacrifice in it.
Yeah.
Just finding yourself saying, you know what, even if I've got to sacrifice for a season, it's worth it for the long term.
Absolutely.
So we trying to be romantic, go from friends to romance, 8 hours apart. So what happened, thank you, Chastity. So what happened was this. We were supposed to get married that following May.
Yeah.
January came. The woman of God said, I'm good. Said, don't even worry about it. Let's just postpone this.
I had a lot going on. Jesus.
Y'all, I got stood up at the doggone altar before I got there. The woman of God said, I am not ready, and I did not have a choice but to say, okay. So where we were supposed to get married in 1 year, our first transition was having to push our wedding back.
Yeah.
Having to say, as much as we love each other, we are not ready to jump across a broom yet.
Yeah.
So if I were to make a point out of it, if I were just to kind of drop a point here, I would say, thank you, Kamisha.
Thank you.
I would say this. In managing transitions, you have to know what you have the capacity to do now.
Yeah.
And what you need to push out and delay, because if you do it prematurely, it may wreck everything you're called to become.
Absolutely.
So I think if we got married that year, we would not be having a couch conversations.
Absolutely.
There just would not be such thing.
I agree.
Now it hurt my pride. Now I can't lie now. My pride was hurt. My pride was hurt. I was horny. I get stood up at the altar before I get there. Everything about me, I'm feeling all type of ways. I can't even lie to y'all. I'm feeling all type of ways. It took me a while. Now I had to make thank you, Monica. I had to make a couple of trips back and forth just so I could see you, rub on a little bit, be sure that everything was still in place. I also had to be sure that other Negro didn't slip back. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to say all that. I had to be sure that nobody else slipped back in while I was 8 hours away. Thank you, Pamela. I had to be sure nobody else, was on my stuff while I was away. But it was the first. The pastor was hot and bothered. I'm young. I had been upgraded in all of my attire. I felt like a little bit attractive at that point. I'm like, I got it together. And the woman of God gonna stand me up at the altar? She won't make it to the altar with me? So
Jesus.
So the first transition, thank you, Kim. Your first transition is very simply put, know what you can handle and be okay with saying no if it's something right now that you cannot handle in its fullness. Don't say yes just for yes sake. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. But let me tell you what his parents did.
Come on, tell the whole story.
So his dad showed up to my little project housing apartment, and the young man was out there smoking their dope, their trees, their weed. He came over to bring juice like he always did. I think his son was sending him there often to check to see was anybody snooping around. Because he would just
my dad was my private eye.
He would just come and say, I was at Sam's, baby, and I want to bring that baby some juice over here. What? Sir, I'm on WIC, but okay. I get it free, but praise God. So he would come. Oh, thank you. And he would bring it. And so he said he got there and he didn't like what he saw in the neighborhood. So he ended up putting an extra lock on my door in the back. I think I had like 3 or 4 padlocks down the thing, and I kept saying, I don't think we could do this. You know, I don't think you can just drill holes in these people's stuff like this.
Oh, but he did.
And so after about a day or so, he had put all these extra locks and things in the back door, and he came back with his mother and said, you can stay here because you grown. And we can't tell you what to do.
Right.
But we're going to pack this baby up. And she's about to move out to the country with us. Feel free to come see her anytime. Now, mind you.
Now, granted, there is no blood tie.
There is no blood tie to this
There
child.
is no legal way that they can take this child from
And they
her.
told me, Precious, Sweet Pea, Cutie Pie, you can stay here while the folks here smoke this here dope.
But the kids can't.
But this baby got to go.
ain't staying.
And baby, his mama came up there. Y'all, let me tell you, it was so bad. I didn't even have a bathroom downstairs in this thing. It was only a bathroom upstairs in this project area I lived in. I was very, 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 very scared to live there.
Thank you.
And they ended up moving her in. And at first, my pride said, I can take it. You know, at least she's safe. And
But they tell you that she moved right on along.
baby, the way I packed them clothes up.
But let me tell y'all what. Here was, I think, the cherry on top. I'm going to transition next part of the story. It was, Fanika called me. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Same time zone. She called me at 5:30 in the morning one morning. It was it was early. I'm like, why is she calling so dang early? Y'all, and this is when I called my dad. I knew it was going to be on. Y'all, this is no joke. I'm going to let her do the full story at some point. Y'all, the DEA.
The DEA
had broke down the door to the house she was staying
Y'all,
in.
they broke in with this big old metal pole. Y'all
battering
watch
ram.
like SWAT or
Thank you, Walter.
Chicago PD, where they got that big old thing and they go 1, 2, 3, boom, and they take the whole door down. Yeah,
And they took the whole door down.
that's what happened to your girl.
And that's when they said, you know what? You can stay wherever the heck you want to stay. You is grown. This kid,
Y'all, they took my
Lamar
go
Thompson,
down.
they said, the baby ain't staying here. So they moved Fanika
It was
into
the
the
wrong
house.
place. It used to be a dealer that was known to live there.
That's why I
and
thought she had moved somebody
apparently
in. That's why I thought she
They had been looking at this place for a while, and apparently that's how come I ended up getting it so doggone cheap.
Yep.
And they came in on your
They
girl.
bust the door
They took
down.
the door down, and then once they realized it was the wrong house, nobody said.
They didn't say
"Let's get
sorry."
Let's get this door back.
They didn't try to fix it.
Let's get this door back up.
Yeah,
But
they
we
did.
put the door up and a piece of plywood and nailed it to keep it.
Yeah, it
Lord,
was
they stole
ghetto.
all my stuff
It
out of
was
there.
ghetto.
I left for a day. I don't even want to talk about it. Why
Okay,
would you even
I'm
bring this
sorry.
up?
We have to talk about it at some
It
point.
said Mother's Day. I don't want to
Because-
think about they stole all my stuff. They stole my
Thank you,
church
Diana.
dresses.
They could have
matching
kept all
hats,
of them. They
shoes.
could have kept all them dresses. So here's the point.
Jesus.
Here's the more of the story. We get married.
Real men.
I moved Fanika to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Y'all, Fanika went into daggone culture shock.
I did.
She had, I think, the most
I did.
interesting season in a transition from Huntsville to Tulsa. Now, we made several great relationships. Some of them are in this chat and watching now.
Yeah.
That we would consider to be lifelong friendships and relationships. I worked for an amazing church there. And I love the fact that the church that I worked for opened up the door for me to really believe in myself to be able to do the type of ministry I'm doing now.
Oh, but before that transition, we was at our little tiny house
No. Which one?
in Tulsa.
But that was it. Hold on.
This is before you
Hold
started
on.
working at the church.
That was before I started working at the church. But here's the thing with it though.
Thank you, guys.
What I didn't take account for was how challenging that transition was going to be on Fanika.
Yeah.
The thing that I did not, because I've been in Tulsa at this point right at 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had time to adjust. I've made relationships. I've got friends. And I'm just thinking she gonna move here, everything's gonna be fine. We move into a a 3-bedroom,
Two.
2-bedroom,
Tiffany's on here. She stayed with us for a while on our sofa.
a 2-bedroom, 800 square foot house that got broke into 2 different times, bricks thrown through windows. We
Yeah,
moved
because we were black.
in an
Yeah.
area that we didn't know we were moving into, an area
Yeah.
where we were not going to be liked very much. I'll say
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
We moved into a duplex, and on one side of the duplex there was a heavy chain smoker, smoke coming through the walls
So we
all the
tried to
time.
buy those little what are those little things?
Humidifiers.
Humidifiers.
I mean, we
and-
trying everything. Thank you all so much. And then what I didn't account for was that in moving her, because Fanika is Alabama to her heart. She
I
is
am.
Selma to her heart. She is not me. I would be in a different city every 18 months.
He
The way I'm
would.
wired,
And
I would.
that's-
I would.
What would you be, babe?
I'd always be gone. Fanika is the homebody of homebodies. So stability is her big thing. So we're in 2-3 different living situations. I've got
This
her-
was the first 6.
first 9 months, 6 months, 6 months, first 6 months.
Yeah, because we got married in May and we moved in December.
Yep. So I've got her in several different, from an apartment to a tiny house to a duplex, all in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
All in that time period. She got pregnant, has a miscarriage.
Yeah.
We go to London. She gets pregnant with London. All of this is happening in the first year.
Just tell my business.
And I'm and I'm moving on. I'm trying to go like real high with the stories. I'm moving on like nothing is transpiring, not considering that I'm bringing somebody with me who's not transitioning as quickly as I am.
Yeah.
I made an assumption that because everything was good with me, that she had to be okay. And life is good. We are happy. We finally married. We can have legal sex. All this great stuff. And I don't take into account all of the transitions. The transition of losing a baby.
Yeah,
The
that
transi-
probably was the biggest one.
Yep.
And I just, I didn't even know how to communicate it. And I felt we were so early in our marriage. It was just in the first year. And I felt like if I would be crying and all of these things that he would think I was this, weak woman. And I think, even one of those things of me pushing back the wedding, I was so concerned about what maybe he thought of me, not pressures that he put on me, but ones that I put on myself. Because when he first met me, I was so together. I was a woman that always worked 3 jobs. This was before I had children. My apartments were always laid. Like people would come and say, you a college student living like this? And I felt like my life had just taken such a downward, And so then I was like, okay, so you still want to marry me and I feel like a loser. And then I'm going to get in here and lose a baby. And then I'm going to be crying because I'm depressed. And so I did not know how to communicate that. So I literally started eating my feelings. I literally started eating my feelings. And so I kept it moving, because that's what women, we do. We just keep it moving. And so I tried to appear to be, okay. And when he would leave, I would cry. He would come home and I was like, everything is amazing because I want to be this wonderful wife, in year 1. And then like he said, before I can finish grieving one child, now I am pregnant with another. And now fear, is gripping me because I'm like, what if what happened before happens this time? And I just do not know how to, communicate that.
And I don't know how to support it. One, because I don't see it.
Yeah.
So I think any marriage or really any relationship, I think the thing we struggled with initially.
So that would have been a failure,
Yep.
since we said we was going to talk
Absolutely.
about. So that
Yep.
was a failure, even on.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor. On my end, because I had in my mind, I had in my mind what I thought a good wife was.
And I even had in my mind what I thought a good wife was, and I thought she was being amazing at it. I'm like, wow, I come home every day. She ain't fussing about nothing.
Right.
For real. Like,
She ain't have a man.
I got it. I know I got it made. But what I didn't know was that all these pieces she's internalized.
Yeah.
And because she's internalizing them and suppressing them to the point that when she got pregnant with London, after the first trimester, she had to come off the job.
Yeah.
So she has to have another transition.
Yeah.
From being really for us, what was the primary breadwinner to now.
So I feel like a failure again. because here I am saying, okay, this is what I can contribute. Because, right before we got married, I felt like the rug was, taken up under me. Here I am on food stamps, on WIC, and, on public assistance, and all of these things for like, 6 months, I think. And then now I'm in a position to get a job at an elementary school and financially, be able to, do this for our family. And I really almost got puffed up, not in the sense of I can do it, but I was like, wow, I have something to bring to the table. So let me pay all these bills, boo, because your girl had fallen off. And so I felt like this was something I needed to prove to him, to say that I am a good wife. I am so good. Your wife is so good that she can cover everything. And so then when I got sick and I was falling out I was passing out at work, and so they said, it's probably best to take a leave of absence. They kept calling the ambulance. They were like, ma'am, you're going to have to go home. You're going to have to go home. You're scaring these kids. And so once I had to sit in that, and I was like, here I am again.
Yeah.
I am yet another failure. And so then I went with like, now he got to take care of me. He got to take care of my daughter. I started going back to my daughter, so now we are a burden on him. Yeah. And what I thought I was going to be to him, I was not. So then I was stuck into another transition. And what did I do, guys? I began to eat even more.
So we go from there. She has London. Okay. And we're like speeding y'all through this story. We'll come and give other points at some point on. We have London in Tulsa. Okay. November the 16th, 2009. London's born. All right. December, I resigned from the church that we're at. We moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to be closer to
Not
family.
because of something he wanted to do. So let me tell you about another failure I had. Because I did not know how to communicate. So by this time he was traveling with our pastor and he was often gone. And I did not know how to communicate that, man, I lost a baby. I'm pregnant again at 3 months. Then they put me on high risk pregnancy. So I don't quite know. You're in and out. You're gone every weekend. You're just home on Sundays, And so I didn't know. And so one day I just kind of like blew up and was like, I can't live here anymore. I need to be somewhere that is closer to someone who can get here and help me. I had, young ladies from the college helping me, some young ladies from the church helping me. We even had moved two young ladies in, but I was like, I need, constant help. These girls was just finishing college and trying to get their lives started. So it was not fair to them for me to put the pressure on them. But because I didn't know how to communicate it, I started to resent him. And I started saying, I'm the one here stuck at home with a child. Then I pulled that child out of private school because we was down to just half his income, and then I'm pregnant again on bed rest, and you're still always gone.
And I want to be clear about the income piece. I don't want y'all to think because I was working for the church, we was balling. Like my income, one income for a wife, a child, and a child on the way was less than $30,000.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm making enough for us to still be on public assistance. But here's the thing. I've got too much pride to go down there and sign up for it. So I tell Vanika, we just gonna make it.
Yeah.
We gonna make it happen any way we gotta make it happen. No matter what it takes, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So the way I respond, thank you, Vincent. So the way I respond is going on the road, traveling with my pastor, making every extra dollar that I can.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm being a good husband because I'm trying to provide. When in all actuality, my wife didn't need my money as much as she needed my presence.
Yeah. And so, I hit this place and it was like, who is this woman? Because I had prided myself in just keeping a house of peace and a house of love. And, people will tell you, they come over. I would have children. We was youth pastors, would skip school to come to our house. I always tried to make sure our house was a house of love. And one day he came home and I just was, and it started off with me, y'all, I tried to cut some grass. I kept saying, cut the grass.
No, y'all, I got this story.
How you gonna cut the grass?
I was on the road.
I know you gone all the time. This grass is almost to my knees and I'm 8 months pregnant.
I was on the road. I will never forget this. We were coming from California. We had a layover in Dallas, Texas. And while in Dallas, Texas, I called my wife. And I'm like, that sounds like a lawnmower. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, I'm out here cutting the grass. You too busy to cut it, so I'm just gonna cut it myself. I said, what?
Y'all, I had never used a push mower. I grew up on a farm where we had a tractor, and then we had one of those riding lawnmowers, you know. And so I never used. I didn't know how to start it. Y'all, I was
Yo.
back there. Now I'm talking. I'm 8 months pregnant, baby. I'm out there, and my pride is too much, you know, to say how did you start this thing. And I said, you know, you're an educated woman. You can get this thing started. Y'all, I had to do this right here. I'm talking about. I had to do that. Probably about 30 minutes, and you know the neighbors is out there looking. I'm talking about. I'm a huge pregnant, like you know. So I ain't even, you know, I'm looking like I'm carrying, you know, twins. I'm like more than the average size pregnant, right? And I'm out there just yanking that cord. I finally get it started, y'all. After I had got it started, you know, any woman knows, 8 months pregnant, I had to pee, but I was scared to cut the lawnmower off because I didn't think I could get it started. So I pulled the lawnmower back and let it ease up on something, and it's just blowing right. It's just crazy. So finally, one of the young ladies from the church comes by named Joy. She comes by on the way off. She said, "Ma, I just wanted to come and check on you." She is in her, you know, nice little outfit from work, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I asked him to cut the grass, and he just acted like he came to cut the grass, and I just bust into tears. He comes home, and I lose it. You know, nice Patty is gone. You know, I go from, oh my God, I just want to be so amazing to, I know you lied, and you're going all the time, and that was never my personality, but because I did not know how to communicate those things well to him, he was really getting a false version of me, and it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
That is my personality to snap. Even as loud as I am, I'm a very cool, calm, and collective. You're not gonna get me to argue, because if you get me to argue, I might swing. So I just don't even go there. And so I'm such a cool and calm person, but because I did not know how to communicate, and I thought me communicating a real need was me being a not so good wife,
So
and the way I was brought up too.
So that was the first time I came home, and I'm like, who is this woman? Is it the pregnancy? Like, what has happened? But it
Perfect Patty is gone.
It spoke to a failure in me as well, because I was so used to just going. I did not stop long enough to consider where her heart and her head was in the midst of that. So, look, we already 30 minutes in.
Okay, so we'll have to do, maybe we'll do like 3 parts of this.
Yeah, okay.
What do y'all think? Maybe we should do like 3 parts of this?
We're gonna have to.
Okay, because we just still in Tulsa, right?
Like, so let's at least make the transition to Chattanooga.
Okay, let's make that, and then we'll come back and tell y'all.
We'll do another one.
Oh yeah, because we have like what, 2 more?
Yeah, we got 8 more. All right, so if I'm honest with you all, we had to stop moving because every city we moved to, she got pregnant. I just have to be honest. Every move that we made, the woman of God was busting it open. And
Bam,
then,
you can't say
I can't say that? No. Okay. The woman of God was receiving ministry.
I like you.
She was receiving ministry.
I like you a lot.
And every time she got ministry, she got pregnant. So what happened? All right, so we have London. And we transitioned from Tulsa to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be closer to family. And I had an opportunity that I just could not say no to. Because she wanted to be closer to family. So we get there. I moved there January. She comes probably end of January, beginning of February, right?
Yeah.
So we make up our mind that in order for us to be successful in this transition, she needs to go on birth control.
Absolutely.
Like right now at this point, we cannot afford any more kids.
Yeah.
Again, I make this transition, it's maybe a $5,000 increase. I'm probably right at $30,000 at this point.
Yeah.
We got 2 kids, a husband and a wife, and I say, you know what? The best thing we're gonna need to do is get you on birth control.
Yeah, and we was like, we just didn't think, pills was, good for me, and different things. So we said, oh yeah, we're gonna try this IUD. 5 years. We're gonna, figure out really kind of where we're gonna be and settle. And so that's what we're gonna do. So he gets dressed up in his suit for his first day
at work
at his new church as an executive pastor.
Yep.
I go in there and we have our little baby. I'm not going to tell you how old she was yet. We go in there with our little baby and, he fills out all the paperwork for me online. And I get there, they said, Mrs. Fred, they take me to the back and they said, have you left a urine sample? I said, no, I don't need to do that because I have a little baby out there, so everything is good. I just come in here and get
And we were
IUD.
told, as long as London was drinking titty milk,
Babe, you got the...
I'm sorry. We were told as long as we were breastfeeding,
Yes.
that it would be impossible for her to get pregnant. Right?
Yes, we gotta go slap that doctor.
I'm gonna go sue.
We should go.
Go ahead, tell the
But
story.
anyhow, so we go in there. He has this nice little suit on, and they say, "Did you leave a urine sample?" I said, "No, I don't have to do that, but it's my husband's first day at work, so I really have to go, guys. So we can just get this in." Y'all said it's gonna be a 5-6 minute process. Let's go. Y'all already got me naked in this gown, and daughter, let's make it roll. So they said, "Oh, we cannot do that. We have to have a urine sample." I said, "Well, I don't have to pee. So what are we gonna do?" She said, "We're gonna give you some water. You're gonna have to sit." So at this time, he's texting me saying, "Hey, this is my first day at work. What is taking so long? I thought this was gonna be something quick. I'm gonna get you back home, whatever." Y'all, they come back in, and the
Thank you,
lady
Danielle.
looks down, and then the doctor comes in, and they say, "Mrs. Friend, you don't need any birth control today." And I said, no, they said, "You don't need an IUD today." And I said, well, I just felt like that was the best choice for us because we wanted to wait 4 or 5 years before we had another baby. So we get ourselves settled, get a little savings, get a little money saved up. And they said, "No, you don't need that." And so I started going down the list of it, because they got it on the wall. I'm naming everything they got up there, baby. Everything they got up there, baby. I said, "So you want me to get that? What you want to do? You want to put some in my arm? You want to put some in my arm? What you want to do? Because I like my husband, I'm gonna keep touching on his body. So what you want to do?" So she says, "Well, Miss Friend, you're pregnant." Y'all, I hop off that table, stark naked, with a little hospital gown on. I hold the bag like this right here. And I walk out into the waiting area, and they're yelling, "Miss Friend, Miss Friend, Miss Friend, you don't have on any clothes." Baby, I'm going to show it all because I'm about to show my whole tail. I'm about to literally show y'all what it means to show your tail up in the place. He comes and he's looking frantic like, "Why are you out here?"
It's been an hour.
And so I'm walking, by this time, I'm so distraught, I can't even hold the back of my gown. So the people just got a free fall. They just got a free fall. He comes with this baby in the carrier. He sets the baby down.
I'm like, why I gotta come? I'm uncomfortable. I'm looking at all these rings. I'm like,
So
what is
they
happening?
look down and they said, "Oh, you mean you got a newborn?"
I mean, London
Was
at this
a fresh
point,
3 months.
she was just 3 months.
Like a fresh.
So you know what they started doing? They started looking at us with judgmental eyes.
They got real
They got real
judgmental on us.
judgmental. Say y'all didn't wait 6 weeks.
They said
did
y'all
you?
didn't wait 6
Ain't no
weeks.
way y'all waited
And I
6
said, it
weeks.
doesn't matter.
I said y'all minding the wrong business. Y'all ain't minding the business that's paying you right now. Y'all are not in your business. So they begin to tell
Y'all,
us.
I was pregnant.
Like,
That
they
baby-
tell her
I
she
probably-
was pregnant.
Jesus,
I said,
that baby
I
was probably
know you
4-5
lied.
weeks.
London honestly was under 3 months old, right?
Ooh, that is so embarrassing. Every time I tell y'all, every time we would tell people, "How far along are you?" I would see them do this. They be trying to count it out. No, I did not wait 6 weeks. They told me as soon as my body felt ready. It felt ready at 3 weeks.
So our next transition is we move to another city, all right? In moving to that next city, she goes to go stay with my parents for a few weeks because they don't even have housing for me at this new church. I got to go find housing, try to get everything together with a budget that's this big. And I'm trying to get my family settled. And in the midst of that, we find out she's pregnant again.
And we don't want to tell anybody.
I mean, when I say nobody,
Like we
we're
don't.
trying to keep it a secret.
We're acting like we're 15 and pregnant. What's the name of that show? Is it 15 pregnant, 16 and pregnant? That's how we're acting. We're saying, how are we going to tell your parents? Because right now they're having to help us kind of a little bit financially with this transition. And they knew we was going ahead to get this birth control because they knew I like to touch their son.
Right.
And so how are we going to explain this to them?
Absolutely.
Y'all, when I tell y'all I healed that pregnancy.
We did not say a word to anybody till we got out of that first trimester.
Y'all, then I got so big, so quick because I had just had a
You
baby.
just had a baby, so everybody like, oh
So
yeah,
I
we know
got
what
a
to do.
little bitty tiny baby, and folks like, "Oh, your babysitting?" And I go,
Y'all, and this is no lie.
That she's mine too. I said, "You kind of big." Well, how old is this baby?
When we told my mother that she was pregnant again, y'all. Now my mother, God rest her soul, was
And that
the
woman loved me.
She was the sweetest.
She was the
It could be
sweetest
the
woman.
kindest woman in the world. Y'all, my
Ooh.
mama cussed us
Ooh.
out. My mama let us have it.
Ooh, baby,
She
she
said-
cussed us.
She said,
so-
y'all knew what y'all was
And the
doing.
thing is, he comes from an extremely conservative family, okay? You probably can tell the differences in our families, just, you know. So he comes from an extremely conservative family. And so, you know, they don't cuss, swear, and do any of those things, okay? Mother found her some cuss words
She
from
went
somewhere,
off.
and sis used them correctly.
She went off.
And the woman of God, let me have it. Hey, you get yourself. I said, I don't. I'm crying, y'all. I'm serious. This is serious. Now, we
Yeah.
saying it laughing.
But
Baby,
this
I
is-
was crying like I was 16 and had snuck in these
Listen.
folks' house and
Listen.
let him get.
Listen.
And got pregnant. I'm crying like, I don't know how this happened.
You know how this happened. You know how this happened.
And I was trying to get birth. You keep acting like her. And
You
I was
know how
trying
this
to get
happened.
birth control.
You know how this happened.
And it was his
You know how this happened. You
And
know
y'all,
what you do.
I'm talking about. I was
Y'all,
bawling.
it was a mess. It was a mess. When I say it was a mess, it was a doggone mess.
It was a
You
mess.
know, at the point, I wasn't worried about, you know.
It's trash.
I wasn't worried about pulling.
trash.
They told me we couldn't get pregnant. I'm just, hey, I'm staying in for the long haul at this point. What you got to pull out for? So I'm sorry. What you?
Oh, just pull it in.
So I'm just okay. So I'm just, you know, we're just going through life.
Jesus.
She's pregnant with Amana. Amana in there. Golly, yeah, we're not gonna get past this story. So Amana is born November the 18th.
And that was another extremely high risk pregnancy.
Yes.
So that was another transition.
Listen.
So I was bleeding, almost like bleeding out, and I would be sitting on the sofa and sitting in a pool of blood, and they kept just basically trying to prepare me like this baby was not going to make it.
Right.
So on top of embarrassment, on top of shame, now I'm dealing with the fact
Absolutely.
that this birth would not be viable. And we were living in a small little town outside of Chattanooga called, what was it, Cleveland, Tennessee?
Yeah, McDonald. We lived in McDonald, Tennessee.
So we had to get a specialist in the city. So now we are already strapped for cash.
Yep.
We already struggling. I mean, we struggling to the point we would go to his parents' house and steal tissue and paper towel. He said, you distract him. He would go out in the garage and get paper towels and tissue for our family. And here I am pregnant again. Yeah.
We
So
would
now
drive to
yeah.
Huntsville to steal bare necessities from my parents.
Yeah, cup plates, you know, because the man his dad always, I mean, he was ready
My
for
dad
Corona.
was Sam's Club.
Baby, he
my
was
dad
ready
was
for Corona.
Sam's.
I promise you. The
So-
man of God and so, you know, we trying to drive back and forth and a little bit of money. So that was another transition.
So I think what we learned in hindsight is, number one, we were not communicating with each other well enough in the middle of all these transitions. So we're literally just going through life. We are figuring it out.
Yeah.
We are not communicating at the level that we need to, because like even at that point, I'm making $30,000 a year. I got to get her ready to have a baby, and my pride still won't say we're going on government assistance.
Yeah.
We left the OB that day, and they're giving us all these handouts for assistance. My pride says I'm just gonna figure it out. My family is not about to go on assistance. You know, you've lived that life once. I'm your husband. I'm supposed to provide. And like most men do. So for every woman that is looking for insight into your husband, into your future husband, here it is. When we are born fixers. The only thing we know how to do, and the only one of our primary calls in the earth, we feel like we're supposed to fix the problem. We feel like it is our job to fix the problem. Yeah. So we're dealing with all of these life issues, and in my head, I've got to fix it. I don't want to talk about it. I just need to fix it.
Yeah.
I've got to figure out a way to get more money. I've got to figure out a way to generate more income. I've got to figure out something. So I'm constantly in my head. I'm in the office in my head. I'm at home in my head. So every time she's trying to have a conversation, I'm so here that I can't talk on this level.
Yeah.
I'm in here trying to say, what am I going to do to ensure that my family does not fall apart?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be sure that, even though it was happening, our lights getting cut off every month.
And so when stuff is getting cut off, I'm confused because I'm saying, hey, is everything good? Oh, yeah, everything is great. Because we still had in our mind what we thought a husband was to be
Yep.
and what a wife was to be. We both came from families whose fathers took care of everything.
Yep.
Now, my grandmother, she worked and made very good money. She was an RN. She was a professor at a college, but she didn't pay anything. She didn't pay one bill. And so he knew that's what I grew up with. His dad was the same way. His mama
Yep.
was a school teacher, but his dad paid everything.
Yep.
And so it was one of those things where he knew my mama never thought about it. My grandmother who raised me, his mama never thought about it.
Yep.
So in his mind, he felt this is the type of husband that I need to be. And so since I'm failing, I cannot communicate that. And because I was the type, I was taught that, gender specific roles. You make sure your house is peaceful. You make sure your house is clean. You make sure you cook. But those things are great, but it set us up for failure and false expectations. And so we went in, and so I just want to admonish you, if you're married, if you're thinking about marriage, you have to do what works best
Absolutely.
for you all.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's great to have models, and it's great to have, people
Right.
you look up to, or even things in your own family. But that does not mean that is necessarily the route that you're going to take.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing women now making more money than their husbands. They out here being bosses. You know what I'm saying? But even now, when I travel, his dad will call today and say, "Why are you on the road when you need to be home and you got kids?"
Yeah.
Now, and he loves me.
Yeah.
But his mind doesn't comprehend that this is something that a woman should do. And I didn't comprehend certain things.
Yep.
So I only asked so much because I felt as a wife, my place was to kind of be back and just kind of let you lead. And I thought I was doing the best assistance by being silent.
And
it was the worst
it was the
mistake ever.
It was most detrimental.
Yeah.
Because again, my framework, I would see my dad lay all of the bills out on the table. He'd pull out his little book and he would start just going through the bills. And my
Yeah.
mama would walk by that table like it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
My mother only took care of the bills that she created, which means like when she went shopping and put stuff on her charge card, my mama, when I say she never paid a bill, I don't even know she would have known where to pay a bill to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my only framework for manhood was what I saw my father model.
Yeah.
I tried to engraft and transition a model that worked for them
For them.
into this.
Yeah.
And what I didn't realize at the time, and it took me years of bumping my head, was that I did not marry Phyllis Friend.
Yeah.
I married Fanika Harris.
Yeah.
So in this framework, me being silent and me not communicating those challenges and just thinking it's supposed to all be on me
Yeah.
proved immensely problematic.
Yeah.
So we're in the midst, and this is what, year 2 of marriage or year 3? Was this the third year or the second?
This is a sad.
Third. We're going to third year of marriage.
Okay.
So we're in the third year of marriage. She is pregnant for the third time, carrying the second baby
no,
full
this is-
term. No, it's third. This is third year at this point.
Okay, yeah, okay.
third year.
Yeah.
She's carrying the second baby full term with 3 pregnancies total. She's in a house where the electricity and the water and the gas is being cut off all the time. I'm behind her back doing payday loans, calling home, trying to sneak money to be sure my house would stay afloat.
Yeah.
All of this while not communicating it to her because I didn't want to seem as if I was a failure as a husband. And what I didn't realize is that I was failing in managing a transition.
And I was nervous about being a nagging wife. My grandmother was always honest. Don't a man want no nagging wife. And my grandma had a lot of mouth. She talked a lot. She's very funny and witty like I am. But when it came down to whatever it was in the house, my grandfather always made the decisions. I mean, even stuff that was cheerleading. I was in dance. Go ask your granddaddy. Go ask your granddaddy. Anything deal with money, she wouldn't even entertain it. It was, we automatically knew, to go to him. And so because that was my mindset, I equated me speaking up or just saying, hey, what is going on in this house? Is everything good? To me being a nagging wife, because that was the framework of what I saw. But then resentment started building up. And then I got to a place I was like, well, I don't even know if I trust you, because, I was a single mom, working jobs and trying to, doing what I got to do to make it. But you're working 9-10 hour days at a church. We live 45-50 minutes from the church. You're driving over almost 2 hours just to get there and get back. You're never home, and our lights are still cutting off. We still don't have the basic necessities. Yeah. I ain't getting no hair done. I ain't getting no nails. I'm not doing any of these things. And so my mind, I cannot comprehend. You're always gone, and we still don't have no money.
And I couldn't comprehend it either. I hated my job. I was privately resenting her because I didn't want to be in Chattanooga. I wanted to be closer to family, but I didn't want to be in Chattanooga.
He did not.
And so I'm there because I'm making a sacrifice because this is what she wants. But in all truth, I didn't know where I wanted to be, but I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
The job was extremely challenging. It matured me, but it was so challenging.
Yeah.
I think the best part out of that transition was that in that time, we got so much time with my mother and my father.
Yes.
It's the part that made the move. I think It was the wisdom of God out of the whole move.
Absolutely.
So I'm carrying frustration.
Nothing was wasted.
Yeah. I'm carrying frustration out of all of my pieces. I can't provide. Fanika is pregnant again. I don't know how. And we are, getting ready to bring another child into the world. And though we are living under the same roof, managing the same family, we have failed immensely at managing transitions.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest with you, at these points, the only thing that probably saved us was that we were friends.
Absolutely.
And this is why before we were lovers, we were friends.
Absolutely.
And this is why probably to like all of the ones that call us parents in ministry, the one thing we harp on is that before you get headlong into a relationship, make sure y'all can be friends before you do anything else. Be sure that this person is your friend.
Yeah.
Make the foundation something that'll last. So if in one moment you stop loving them and stop getting the butterflies when they walk in the room, because it's hard to believe she stopped getting butterflies when I showed up. But when the butterflies stop coming, you've got a foundation that will last beyond that.
Yeah.
So November 18th comes, and we're going to stop this. This is the last little part. We're going to give y'all like 7 more minutes. We're going to stop. November the 18th comes, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. She pushes out Amana. Amana comes out beautiful and chocolate, just like her mom.
I mean, unexpectedly. We go there with no bag, no nothing.
I mean, we ain't packed nothing.
They said I was dehydrated, and they sent me for dehydration, and I was like 6-7 centimeters.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Yep.
I'm who?
10 p.m. She delivers Amana. Y'all, I kid you not.
This is the truth.
11:45, 11:50. I check my phone. I have an email come through from the church. The bishop of the church has sent me an email terminating me from my job effective December the 31st.
Yeah.
So,
and this is November 18th.
So the same night that we have another bundle of joy is the same night I figure out and find out that at the end of the year, I've got no more income coming in.
Yeah.
So we get a gift and we get a horrendous surprise all on the same night.
Yes.
So if you all can just imagine, I know every man in here is going to get this. It is hard for me to celebrate.
Well, you're talking through this stuff. We might need to write a book. This is a lot.
We in one moment are celebrating. It is a lot.
When you just said that we are celebrating.
We're celebrating a brand new life, and I'm in my head, and I can't even have joy about it because the same way a child has just now come in, I don't know how in the world I'm going to provide for this child. So
That is heavy,
we've
babe.
got
I'm sorry.
another.
That's kind of. I don't know. I hadn't talked about this in so long. We get on here just talking. So
We have another
I-
life transition.
Yeah.
We bring in now responsible for another life, and we don't have a clue how in the world we're going to provide for it. Y'all, I'm telling you, as a husband, it was the most devastating night of my life to have someone that I consider to be a father
Yeah.
fire me through email
Yeah.
on the night I'm becoming a father again.
Yeah.
It rendered me speechless. And in that moment, I didn't have anything else to say to my wife.
And in that moment, I felt like we were only there because I wanted to be closer to family. So I felt like the one time in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when he came home and I tried to cut the grass, he came home and nice Patty was gone. The one time I voiced my biggest frustration because he is a fixer. He moved us and what we thought was going to be was not. And I felt like he had to suffer that at the hands of my one time saying, I'm going to really put my foot down and stick up for myself. And now I've put him in a position to be fired. And it was nothing with the baby. It was nothing with job performance or anything like that. It just, he got into a place and instead of him loving the help, he started feeling like people are loving you. And so the pastor got a little uncomfortable in the sense of, where does that stand for me? Will it take my members or whatever? Instead of saying these are people here to build and help, because I do want to clear that up. I don't want you to think he got fired because of job performance or anything like that. But that was probably, he was upset with me. And that was probably a day I said I would never, I'm about to cry. I would never speak up again because I put us, when I voiced my opinion, when I spoke up for myself, I put my husband in a position where he lost faith in who he was as a pastor and as a man. And I said, had I not pushed him to move here, our pastor in Tulsa did not want him to leave. He begged us to stay. He prayed us out with a blessing and he walked off the stage because he was so hurt he wanted him to stay. And I was so adamant about us moving to be with family because I was always alone with kids. And because I had been a single mother, I said, I don't want to do that in the marriage. Woo, I didn't mean to go here. And so I felt like that would be the last time that I would ever speak up. And so maybe we'll do a part 2 about what happened after I went mute for a while.
So,
Guys, I'm sorry. I hate that. Jesus, say something funny.
I got nothing funny to say. Lord, I don't even think we were planning to go all the way into this. We thought we were going to hit all 4 of our transitions.
All right, let's end it on off now, Pastor. God bless you.
So in her head, she goes silent. In my head, I go to a pretty dark space. I've got a whole family I've got to care for.
Don't tell them the next transition this way.
And I don't know what is about to happen next for our family. I don't know what this next season is about to look like. In less than 5 weeks, I've got no more income coming in. And I feel like in this transition, I've failed as a husband, I've failed as a father, and I literally don't know what needs to happen next.
Yeah.
And so, we'll leave it right there. To catch part 2 of managing transitions, We want you to join us back
Jesus,
here.
babe. It's supposed
Lord.
to be cute and light.
We are on the road next week. All right, so we're gonna be on some couch. I don't know what couch we're gonna be on, because
I got to go take care of more kids, guys.
We're gonna do our best to get this on next
Yeah.
Thursday. We're trying to make Thursday our standing day to do these, so we're gonna do our best to be back on next Thursday to give you all part 2
Yeah.
of managing transitions and to hopefully give you some strategies to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Our biggest mistake, though, was communication.
Yeah.
It was the biggest one.
Yeah.
But
and false realities of
and false realities of what
we
marriage is
thought
supposed to be like,
Marriage
yep.
is supposed to look like.
But if y'all think you have heard the doozies, you ain't heard anything yet. Some of you all may already know bits and pieces of this story. Y'all ain't heard none yet. All right, so this is just part 2, and we're literally walking you all through our roller coaster. And I know, like, a lot of times people see your now,
Yeah.
and they think your now has been your always, or that you all of
Yeah.
a sudden arrived.
Yeah.
But the reason why I said I will never apologize for where we're at now
Absolutely.
is because I know what we had to live through.
Listen,
to get
I
here.
have
Like,
for sure cried enough tears.
Listen, we have
Yeah.
we have lived through a lot
Yeah.
in a 12-year span.
Yeah.
To be where we are. Okay, so don't forget, like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you
Because
haven't
we're gonna
already.
do part 2 next week. Now I might have the extra 3 kids with me, but we're gonna figure it out. Because we owe y'all part 2.
Yep.
Y'all don't open up some stuff that I don't know. It was so crazy. I didn't expect to.
There was a lot of
I didn't
digging.
expect to go there, but I did expect to have that emotion. That thing kind of creeped up on me, so I got to pull out of this. So we got to go.
And probably what makes it worse is I didn't tell her what we were talking about until 10 minutes before.
That's
So
true.
I was like, you know what? This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going here, and this is what I want you. This is how we're going to rock with. This is how we're going to roll. So I gave her like a 10-minute heads up and didn't even tell her how far or what way this was going to turn.
Yeah, I just thought we was going boom, 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 all our moves. And, he started off saying, we're going to keep it real high level. And that thing just sucker punched me.
I think y'all needed part of that dig, though. We wasn't planning on it, but I think it was necessary for some. So please, again, like, subscribe. Thank you for being on with us tonight. Now, the girls are lobbying to come on to do a Q&A with y'all.
Yes.
So the friendlets, London is actually spearheading it, which has been interesting. London's like, hey, can we come on and just let them ask us questions about what it's like to be you all's kids? And, we're famous, so they probably want to talk to us
they
too.
think they famous.
So in their head, they are like, everybody wants to hear from us too. So we're going to figure out a day, especially while we're in the middle of quarantine. And especially y'all with kids, if you all want to bring your kids on, or you want to ask questions that are kid related, they'll be ready to give y'all something, and they're gonna do it soon. So thank y'all for being on. I think we got up to about 800 people on here at one time tonight.
Thank y'all.
So thank y'all for just wanting to hear what we got to say.
Yes.
And we'll give y'all part 2 wherever we are in the world next week. We'll give y'all part 2 for sure. We love y'all. Thank you for being a part of Friends with the Friends. We need like a little outro commercial thing.
Somebody give it. I want a jingle. We need a jingle.
We need a Friends with the
We need to
Friends
find
jingle.
somebody to make us a
gonna
jingle.
do a jingle for us?
I saw Tal on here, Tiff on here. I know too many singles. Y'all need to make me a jingle.
Come on, y'all write something for Friends with the Friends. All right, we love y'all.